Well, it's been about 3 weeks since I installed the Denali D3s on the Tiger, and I didn't really spend any time aiming the lights because it was pretty darn hot, and the installation was it took a long time with the videotaping and everything. But now that I'm back from vacation in Canada, I am going to properly aim these things. Um, my initial aim turned out to be a little bit low and a little bit to the left. People didn't flash me too many times, but I did get one truck that flashed me, and I figured, well, maybe my aim is a bit off. But not only that, it's aimed. The lights are aimed down a little bit, so I can see the spots on the road, and that's not what I want. And true enough, when I put my markings in the garage, I can tell that it's a little bit low. What I did was, in preparation for the aiming of these lights, I went ahead and sat on the bike and had my wife measure the distance between the lights and the ground. So the distance between the lights and the ground was measured. But what I'm also going to do is on the right side, because we drive on the right here in the US, on the right side is the light that is on the curb side. So I'm going to install the hybrid lens today as well. But what I'm going to do is leave the spot lens on as I aim, just so I can get my aim done correctly. And then I will go through the installation of the lens. I'm not going to put on the selective yellow lenses yet. That'll be subject of another video. Today it's basically just aiming the lights and putting the hybrid setup on for me on the right side lamp. My garage is not that big, obviously. As you can see, it's a standard 2-car garage, and my wife's car is usually parked over here. So I'm going to throw a graphic up on the screen to show you the proper way to measure or to aim your headlights. You require 25 feet of distance between a wall, which I'm using my garage door, and and the lights. Obviously, I don't have 25 feet, but I can manage 6 feet. And the instructions say that you can use 6 feet to aim your lights, 6 feet distance. And by similar triangles, what you need to do is with the 6-foot length. So what I've got is a distance between there and there, 6 feet. And I used that before for my RS as well as for the tracer. So I've marked off 6 feet. So the lights are approximately 6 feet away from the garage door. And I've got a tape on the floor for center line. So all the way back to make sure that the bike is lined up, perpendicular to the door. Then what I did was I took a measurement from the floor level up to this, and that's 35 inches. So that's the same height off the ground as my lights when I'm sitting on it. Then the distance between these two guys, 17.5 inches. So I put a mark or tape 17.5 inches either side of center line. And this is where it comes. Now I transferred that 35 inches height over to here, and at the 6-foot length back from the door, you go down 1 inch. So my spot is going to have to be on the center there, 34 inches. This is the tape here for the Tiger, and that's the tape down there for the RS. I don't have tape for the tracer anymore, but that's what it is. So today I'm going to be shooting at that spot on this side and at the lower spot on the right hand side. To make this easier, I put the bike in gear so that I don't roll forward and change my distance from the door. And as you can see right now, and I'm trying to keep the bike as vertical as possible. Maybe I could put a spirit level on the handlebars or something to try and tell me when the bike is level. But as you can see, my average my initial installation was not that far off. The left side, you can see there, is a little bit to the left of my tapes. And the right is pretty much dead on, although it could come over a little bit to the right. But they're both low. So you want those spots, the center of those spots, to be kind of like where the dot is. So I've got to go up and to the right on both lights. Now, during the installation, I may have mentioned that these screws were installed so that they were both facing the same direction. In other words, the head was pointing in on this side, and on this one here, it was pointing, the head was on the inside and pointing outwards, so that the nut was on this side. And I changed it around so that the head is on this side and the nut is on the inside. And the dividends will pay off today, because all I need to do is reach in here, behind here, with a 10 millimeter wrench, and then slacken off here with this hex tip. Forget the size of it. Let's see. I'll read it off camera. It's a 4. That'll be simple enough to do. What I'll do is slacken that off a little bit, and then I can get the elevation angle correct. And then I use a wrench down here to kind of, change the angle from left to right. I've got them adjusted to where I think it should be. So let's give it a try now and see. As you can see there, both spots are kind of centered on that 34-inch spot. So I'm happy enough with that. And so I'm going to go ahead now and install the hybrid lenses, and we'll see how that looks. Now, to undo these screws, you're going to need a 2.5 millimeter, I guess, hex tool, and just back these off here. But I would back them off, kind of in order, because you want that even clamping force when you install it back again. They're fairly tight coming out of the factory, so take your time and take them off. And then this whole front piece should come off, at which point we can change the lens. With the 4 screws removed, this, you have to be very careful, because this will fall out. So tip it forward. And remember how you took it off. That Denali with the single LED is at the top. But that's the circuit board right there. So, and then the screws are these 4 little itty bitty screws there with the thread lock on it. You might want a good idea would be to put some masking tape to hold this front end on as you're undoing it, because you don't want this thing to fall on the floor and break. This is the top, and these other 2 are the bottom. So that's going to be important. It's not so important now when we've got a spot set up, but when we're going to be putting the hybrid, we want to make sure that we get it right. Here's the lens. These lenses are really, really pretty sturdy, I must say. A little bit stuck onto the plastic here. But these 2 are the bottom ones, right? These are the ones that that actually go at the bottom. So we've got to install it like this. So you take this little rubber thing off, and this should just push out, I guess. Yeah, it just pushes out. Set that aside. And they've got notches on these lenses here, so you can't install it wrong. You shouldn't be able to install it wrong anyway. So those notches go in way of the screws. And you just push it in. It's a snug fit because it's supposed to be waterproof. So push that in, and then you just put this thing in any old which way. That's how it looks. This is the top one, and these are the 2 bottom ones. And it's supposed to be installed like that on the bike. So we'll go to the bike now and reinstall this on the lamp on the right-hand side. And we should have a hybrid setup. And then we'll go see what it looks like on the garage door. Good. It's all installed now, and you can see we've got the right orientation there for the two on the bottom and the one at the top. This is all cinched down. Very good idea to make sure that you do them in a cross pattern to tighten them back up evenly. And you just need to do it finger tight, you know, get it nice and snug so that this seam here is even. All right, let's jump back on the bike and see what the aim looks like. All right, I was pretty careful to try and not disturb the aim. Now look at that. You can see on the right side it's more of a wash. Look on the left side. The left side, the beam kind of stops right there, right? But on the right side, it's gone over into the corner. So that's going to really nicely illuminate the sides for me. And it looks like the aim is still pretty much spot on. So what I'm going to have is the left side throwing the light down the road, you know, and then the right side, you know, just casting a wider beam. Kind of looks bad on the door because, hey, I got a weak light on the right and a strong light on the left, but it has worked great for me with the Tracer, and, you know, it should work well with the Tiger. For the RS, I had both of them. I've still got both of them on spot, and that works for that bike, the mountain night riding that I do. So yeah, that's it. If you found this video useful, give me a thumbs up, consider subscribing, leave a comment below, and hopefully this shows you how I aim my bike, my lights, and how you might want to approach aiming your lights as well. And yeah, hopefully it's been useful. See you in the next video. Take care.